Assalamu alaikum. My name is Aisha Sadiq Sularia and today I am here with the session number 3, that is making decisions. See, decision making is a very important element that I should say is in anybody's life, because we have to make decisions in each and every field of our life, being a student, being a parent, being a spouse, being a corporate manager, being anybody, in any role of your life, you have to make certain decisions. Those decisions can be critical ones also, and those one can be of routine decisions too. But decision making, each and every person makes or do decision making on his or her level. So, how to make smooth decisions? What is the decision making process? How many types of decisions are there which people make? And as a manager, when you will be playing a vital role in a corporate world, then how you have to manage the decision making strategies and how you have to ensure that you are making the right decision. So, we are going to discuss all of the things that's related to decisions in this lecture today. Okay, so first of all, we have to understand one thing, that we only make decisions when we have alternatives, right? Making a choice from two or more alternatives is known as decision. If there are no alternatives, so there is no decision making. It's like that you are just going to go for that option that's available for you. If the option is one, then you will definitely go towards it because there is no other alternative for that. So there is no other decision making that you can make. So that's why decisions are took only when you have two or more alternatives, right? When there is alternative, then you have to make out the decision that where you have to go, which alternative you have to select. So for making the decision, we are having a whole decision making process. This decision making process is composed of 8 steps in which we make a decision while seeing a problem and then we sort it out. So number 1 is that we identify a problem and we allocate decision criteria and allocating weights to the criteria. I will explain in detail what does it means. Then we develop, analyze and select an alternative that can resolve the problem. Then after resolving, selecting the alternative, we implement the selected alternative and then we evaluate the decision's effectiveness. So this is actually all of those 8 steps that are embedded in this heading, but we are going to discuss each and everything in detail as we have discussed in class. Alright? So this is the diagram, like exhibit 6-1, the decision making process that I was talking about. It's the 8 steps diagram that's here in front of you, and we will take the same example that we followed in class as well. It's the example from your book, management book. So the example was that Amanda is a sales manager whose sales rep needs new laptops. See, it's written here, my sales reps needs new computers, because their old ones are outdated and inadequate for doing their job, right? This is the assumption that we have while solving the problem. To make it simple, assume it's not economical and to add memory to the old computers, and it's the company policy to purchase, not lease. Alright, so now we have a problem, a disparity between the sales rep current computers, that is the existing condition, and their need to have more efficient ones, that's the desired condition. Now we have, as Amanda, we have to decide that what decision we have to make. Alright, so step number 1 was to identify a problem. See, most of the time it happens that the problem is unclear and people never understand what the problem is. They are very like they want to make a rapid decision, they want to be a very swift decision maker, so they miss what the actual problem is. So at the first step, you need to be very clear that what is your problem, and the example that we are discussing, we have taken the example of a laptop or computer that a sales rep needs. So this is the problem that we have identified, that Amanda sales reps need new computers. Then the second step is to identify the decision criteria. Decision criteria are factors that are important or relevant to resolving the problem. What is the relevant factors that you are going to consider? On which basis you are going to make decision of a problem that you are stuck in? It would be like a cost that will be incurred, investment required, maybe it could be the relevant decision criteria, risk likely to be encountered, the chance of failure, maybe you consider that as a risk criteria, decision criteria. And third is outcome that are desired, growth of firm, that maybe that could be the decision criteria for you. In our case, Amanda decides after careful consideration that memory and storage capabilities, that's like display quality, battery life, warranty, carrying weight are the relevant criteria in her decision, because these are the things that matters a lot to her. Alright, so she has very carefully identified that this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 factors are relevant in her decision making criteria, and she is considering all of those 5 things while making a decision. Alright, so this is the identification of decision criteria in our example. Then we have to allocate weights to the criteria. Decision criteria are not of equal importance. Assigning a weight to each item places the item in the correct priority order of their importance in the decision making process. See, it's highly important that you have to weight each of the criteria that you are looking forward for. For example, these are the criterion that we have set, alright, and these are the weights. For example, memory and storage are of highest weightage for Amanda, because memory and storage is the vital requirement of our laptop. Then she has made second priority, that is the battery life, and she has placed the weightage of 8 for it. It's like the second important criteria for her. Then the carrying weight of the laptop, she has made her 6. That's the third priority, third important criteria. And then the warranty matters to her. She has placed the weightage of 4 to the warranty, and the display quality is the least important thing for her. So that's why she has given this criteria 3. So weightage merely depends on you. You can give it as per your convenience. She has taken this criteria or this weightage from 1 to 10 for the ease in calculation. Then step number 4 is to develop alternatives. Identifying viable alternatives, and alternatives are listed without evaluation
that can resolve the problem. Let's get back to the example or the flowchart that I was showing you. The development of alternatives in our example was that Amanda wants laptops for her sales reps, right? So the alternatives for the laptops are possible types of laptops and brands available. So these are the alternatives that she has selected, and now from these alternatives we have to see which one is the most suitable for us. We have to make decisions from these alternatives. So these are the possible alternatives by doing analysis and research she has listed here. Alright, then we are having step number 5, which is to analyze the alternatives. We have listed the possible alternatives that we have. Now we are going to analyze it. What does analyze means? To appraise each alternative strengths and weaknesses. You have to do careful analysis that what is the strength of each alternative or each of the brand that they are offering in laptop. For instance, in our case, let me show you exhibit 2-3 that shows assessed value of laptops computers using decision criteria. Now Amanda has carefully given the numbers to the each brand, analyzing their strengths and weaknesses. For example, to the memory and storage, she has given Toshiba 10. It means they are good in memory and storage. Whereas to the battery life, she has given 3, as the Toshiba's battery life, maybe it's not that good as compared to the other brands. Similarly, Toshiba's weight is 10. See, this is not accurate data. It's like what you have researched, what your knowledge is related to each and every laptop category. You have given the weightage according to that analysis, right? It's not accurately what is supposed to be. It's like what you think that the criteria is. For example, for you, Apple iBook has 8 memory and storage, and it's 7 in battery life. It's 7 in your opinion. It's carrying weight. It's like 7 that you marked it. For Toshiba, you have marked here for AV501 brand, you have marked 10 in memory and storage. Maybe you think that the memory or storage of Toshiba is like well and good in your site and you have good experience with it, so that's why you have given 10. So that's why you have given the assessed value in your opinion to all of the laptop brands that you have identified as alternatives. Okay, then we are going to choose the best alternative. That is step number 6, selecting an alternative. The alternative with the highest total weight is chosen. So now for choosing the right alternative, we have to multiply these weights that we have given as per our priority with the assessed value of the laptops that we have given after doing analysis little research on laptop. So we have to multiply those criterias as I have shown you earlier with these assessed values. So it will make the situation like this in front of you. After multiplying, we are having such values in front of you, and these value after multiplying we have made a total of each value, like 100 plus 24 plus 60 plus 32 plus 15 makes 231. Similarly, in all case we have multiplied, and then we will choose that alternative which is going to have a highest number in total. So the alternative that we are going to choose in this case is Toshiba Cosmeo G15AV501, which is matching all of the requirements of Amanda sales rep as per her analysis and as per her requirement. So highest number will be chosen. After choosing the best alternative, we have to implement the alternative, that is putting the chosen alternative into action. Obviously, if you are not making it, converting that all decision making process into the action, so it's like we haven't done any process yet. So conveying the decision to gaining commitment from those who will carry out this decision is an important point of decision making. And then step 8 is evaluating the decision's effectiveness. The soundness of the decision is judged by outcome. Definitely the outcome that you were looking forward to achieve. The process that we have made so far is to achieve the desired outcome that we were looking forward for. So how effectively the problem resolved by outcome resulting from the chosen alternative will determine how effective decision we have made. And if the problem was not resolved, what went wrong? You have to actually monitor that what went wrong if the problem is not yet resolved. So this was the 8 steps decision making process. I hope that you have learned how to make decisions, and we have discussed in detail in class as well. So this is just a glimpse for you to recall the concept if you look forward for, and if you have still any ambiguity, so by seeing or watching this video you will understand that how at that time we discussed this concept.